Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. It's called Hope Robinson Vlogs. I gotta rename that. So Hope to What Vlogs. Just keep it that way. Okay. I haven't uploaded in forever. It's been a long ass time. So obviously, you know about Dakota, and you knew about like where we were living and stuff like that. And you knew we were living in a trailer in Kingwood, and you did not know that we were moving to Morgantown. We did. We were gonna upload that video. We never got around to uploading it, which is actually really sad. We lived in a trailer in Kingwood, and we uploaded that, but we never uploaded the Morgantown video. Which we were going to do that, but we didn't do it for some reason. I think we just forgot about it. It slipped our minds. But yes, we do live in Morgantown. We actually moved to Morgantown. It's great. It makes us very happy. And yeah. So that happened. Moved to Morgantown, got a 1-bedroom apartment, and that's where we're living now. And about a couple months after we moved to Morgantown, and I was going to do a reveal video, but again, it completely slipped my mind and his mind. He asked me to marry him. Surprise, surprise, right? He asked me to marry him. He proposed to me, and I said yes. I was crying. It was a little bit teary. It was a nice little arboretum spot where it was really beautiful. It was like I had trees, and it was really pretty. So he went under this, went to in this like flower patch, and he got down and he knelt down and asked me to marry him. It was so nice. Sorry, my eyes are watering. I have no idea why. I think I don't know. My eyes just water sometimes when I talk a lot. But, so that happened, and we decided that in December that we wanted to get married. And everybody was all like, that's not possible. You don't have enough time to plan a wedding at that time. You can't do that. There's no way you can get married 3 months after your engagement. How is that possible? It was possible. Dakota wanted the pastor that did his brother's funeral to marry him at one point, if that was ever possible. So we had all kinds of things in mind. We wanted to do. We had this nice like venue we wanted to do our wedding and our reception, so that people wouldn't have to travel. It was in Morgantown, but we couldn't afford it. And we were like, okay, we can't afford this, but we can afford a courthouse wedding, so let's try that. Called everywhere, and they were like, we can't do it. You'll have to wait till like January the 15th. And I'm like, I'm not getting married on my future husband's birthday, okay? I want to get married on the day that I want to get married and the day that we want to get married. So his father, Dakota's father, my father-in-law, he's like, why don't you call Brother Ray? And Brother Ray is the person that did Dakota's brother's funeral. And I was thinking, that's his name? His name is Brother Ray? Because I just knew him as Frank Hauser because that was his last name. And Dwayne, his father, was like, oh yeah, try calling him and see what he can do. So I called his grandmother, and I was like, hey, can you give me Brother Ray's number? And she's like, yeah, sure, I'll give it to you. So she gave it to me, and I called him, and I told him who I was. I'm like, hey, this is Dakota's. I said that it was his grandmother's grandson's fiance. That's what I said it was. Because he knew Dakota's grandmother, but he did not know Dakota, I don't think. So they're like, okay. He's like, okay, well, give me a date and a time, and I'll do it as long as it's not on a certain day and at a certain time or whatever. So I said, okay, how about December the 14th? And he's like, okay. He's like, what time on December the 14th? And I said, how about 12? in the afternoon, get it over with, get out of the way, and we can be married quicker. So he's like, okay, I'll have it written down, 12 o'clock, December 14th. And it was at his church in Tunnelton, which, by the way, if you've ever been there, it does not have that much cell phone service. So I invited a friend to attend my wedding. No, before you ask, no one gave me away because family drama was happening at the time, and I just wanted to get it over with. They criticized me about that too, but that's a whole nother video, which I'm not going to make. But anyway, so I had a friend who I invited to my wedding, and he called me, and he's like, hey, like, he sounded really choppy, and I'm like, what the hell? And he's like, I'm here at the church, but I don't have good cell service, so just tell me when you get there. I'm like, okay. So that's when I learned that theory, that where the church was had really little to no cell phone service, which I expected because of the obvious. It's in a part of the state that just didn't have good service. I mean, there was parts of West Virginia that does not have good service. So I was like, okay, so we drove up to the church, and it was really quick. It literally did not last that long. It lasted about, I'd say, like 3 minutes, and then it was done. So it was like, we walked out, and Dakota actually did have a best man, and I give him a hard time every single time because his best man is one of the craziest people that I know. And he can be really stupid at times. So anytime his friend does a really stupid thing, I'm like, well, you did pick him as your best man. So he did pick his friend Chucky as his best man. And so his best man stood beside him, but I felt really, really alone because I didn't have anybody. I wanted people to be my maid of honor, but either they couldn't show up or they just didn't want to do it. Most of them, it was because they couldn't show up, because anybody I asked wanted to be my maid of honor, but they couldn't do it because either they couldn't show up or they were freaking out about COVID. That was one of them too. So I didn't really have anybody. I literally just had my husband-to-be was next to me, and then his best man was next to him, and I was just standing up there, like, alone, but that was okay. So the preacher basically stood in front of us and basically said, like, how marriage was, like, this really sacred thing, and it was really important, and it meant, it's a big commitment, you know what I mean? So he basically asked the question, do you take this person, and we both obviously said that we did, and now I'm married. So there you go. Mm-hmm. You guys never saw my engagement ring. At some point, you will see it again. Long story short, I lost my engagement ring after we got married, and it was not... Oh, believe me, it was hell for, ever, because it was a loose ring, okay? And it fell off my finger as I was using the bathroom, and it went down the toilet. It was very sad. I don't like talking about it. It was not something that I really like remembering. But I know it happens to a lot of people at least once in their lifetime, that they lose something. Either it's their wedding ring or their engagement ring. And either ring, if you lose it and your man finds out, it is hell. Do not ever, ever lose that ring. Whatever you do, seriously, whatever you do, if you lose that ring, you will have hell to pay until you have an explanation as to why that ring was lost. Believe me. I was trying to be like, I don't know what happened, obviously, it led to the point where I was just like, okay, that's what happened, and it was not a pretty sight. So, girls, if you're watching this channel, and you have a boyfriend, and you get married or engaged, do not lose that ring. I'm telling you right now, it is hell. You will have hell to pay for, ever, until you have done everything you can in your power to try and find it. knowing that you literally can't do anything else after that. And then when you get to that point and you explain it to them, then they're like, okay, I will I'll slack up a little bit, but I'm still going to be pissed at you because you lost the ring, and I will try and get another one at some point. So at some point, I will have my engagement ring back, but I promise this time it actually won't get lost because it will actually fit my hand. It was not because Dakota got me the wrong ring size. A lot of people are going to say that. It's not. It's because the ring size for my engagement ring is different than the ring size for my wedding band. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. Because I think it's because my engagement ring was bigger than my wedding band. And wedding bands are obviously, the one that I have is a lot smaller. So it's the size of my finger matches my wedding band, does not match my engagement ring. So just a tiny bit smaller and it should fit. But that happened. It's really sad that I couldn't do a revealment video because I wanted to do a revealment video about like that we got engaged, and it completely slipped my mind. But nevertheless, we did get married, and shortly after we got married, shortly before we got married, actually, not after, we got a little puppy dog, and he's sleeping, of course, but we did get a little puppy dog, and some of you know if you saw him on Facebook, some of you do not, but we got him when he was 6 weeks old, and he's so cute when he sleeps, but we got him when he was 6 weeks old, and he was a Boston Terrier pug mixed breed. It's unconfirmed about the pug, so I'm not sure if that's mixed with him or not. At some point, we will take him to the vet to get his shots and stuff like that. What was I going to say? Oh, I know what I was going to say. And at some point, I actually do want to find out his breed. I know there's a way that vets do it, where they can actually like test the dog and kind of find out what breed they are, because I really do want to find out what breed he is, because at some point I do want to breed him with another dog. You know, he can have his girl dog, and it'll be our dog, and it'll probably be a Boston Terrier female if possible, or something like that. And I'll probably name it Marley because I like that name for a girl dog. And we'll breed him, and he'll mate, and they'll have puppies, and then we can sell the puppies for a decent price. I mean, hell, we bought Max for $200. I mean, he was a mix, but we bought him for $200. So I can only imagine how much that couple made off of even us buying their last puppy. Like, if this couple that we bought Max from, if they sold all of their puppies for $200 and they had like 8 or 9 puppies, they made that's a pretty good deal. I mean, they made at least over $1,000. They made at least $1,800 if they had 9 puppies. If they had 8 puppies, they made $1,600. But either way, they made over $1,000, which is crazy. But you can make money just breeding puppies. You really can. You can make money. I remember when we bought my dog Ginger, which sadly I couldn't keep. I wanted to keep her because I knew that we would give her a good home. And not to criticize my mom, but I just wanted to keep her. I really wanted to keep her because I knew that when she was around me, she always listened, and she wasn't bad, and she was a good dog around me. But whenever she was around Mom, she was always really, really bad. So I'm like, I want to keep her because I want her to have a good home, but that did not happen because my mom was like, I don't know where I'd be without Ginger. So I couldn't keep her, which actually made me sad because the first thing I would have done was given her a bath because she stank bad. Oh my gosh, like, she smells terrible because Mom doesn't really give her a bath that much, and when she does, it goes to the groomer. But anyway, so we bought her for $50. So if that guy that we bought her from sold his puppies for $50, he made a decent amount too. If he had them, not as much as this one couple that we bought Max from, but still. But he was well worth the $200. He's a good dog. He really is. At some point, I want to make a dog training channel because I want to show people that even if you have a little dog, they can still be trained. Because he is a little dog. He's not a big dog. And a lot of people have this, like, misconception that, like, oh, well, big dogs are the only dogs you can train. That's not true. You can train little dogs. But it depends on their intelligence level. If you have a dog like Max, who is a Boston Terrier / Pug, if that is his breed, or just Boston Terrier in general, they're intelligent dogs. They can be trained. I've seen videos of it. I've seen videos of people actually training their dogs, which, I'm considering doing that at some point when I have the money to do it. But, because I want to show people that even little dogs can be trained. I tried doing that with Ginger, but of course it was too late because I didn't have a clicker. Because clickers are the best way to train a dog because they hear that sound and they know, oh, I should be at attention. Well, with Ginger, when I tried to train her, I had treats, but I didn't have a clicker. So the training was kind of useless, and it didn't work anyway. Because all Ginger cared about was food. She just looked at the food and was like, yeah, I'm not going to do anything for that. And it didn't help that the treats I had were not hidden, so she knew where they were, and you're just not supposed to do that when you train a dog. You're supposed to hide the treats so they can't see them, so they know what they're working towards, because that's just what you do. But I know how to do it now. I just didn't know how to do it back then. But anyway, at some point, I want to make a video on that, just to, the channel on that, just to show people that it is possible. But yeah, so he's very happy.
Mm-hmm.
He loves me, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, you're great.
Oh, well, that's good. As my messenger goes off. But, later today, I'm super excited about this, so mind my excitement. Later today, I am getting, finally, a new item that I get to share with you guys. You guys have not seen me do an unboxing, so...
You didn't say that one thing.
What one thing?
Like, about moving in and stuff.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, at the beginning of the video.
Oh.
How we moved into a one-bedroom apartment,
Yeah.
and it's in Morgantown.
Yeah.
Point is, I am getting a new item today. And this particular item, I have never, ever shown you guys. I've never even showed you an unboxing video. So this will be completely new. And it won't look that good, so I'll tell you that right now. It's probably going to look like shit, but we're going to try our best. So...
To do what?
To do the unboxing video of...
I thought we weren't doing an unboxing video.
You said
I said we were doing it on the other one.
which one?
With the new one when we get it.
New one?
Yeah, like the one when we get that one. Because I said we'll actually have the material to do the actual unboxing.
Okay, fine. We won't do an unboxing video. Sorry, guys. I built your anticipation up.
Because it's not a good one anyway.
It's not a good one. But I can tell you what I'm getting today, and then I can tell you my replacement that I'll actually be doing an unboxing for. So today, I will tell you what it is. It is a brown switched... It's an Altimo brown switched keyboard, mechanical keyboard. I'm getting it today. It's going to be unboxed. No, it's not going to be unboxed on this channel, and here's why. It is a cheap knockoff of a Cherry MX Switch. Some people say that it's great, and it's amazing.
I know people watch the Cherry MX one.
compared to a Cherry MX Switch. But here's the thing. I want a Cherry MX Switch keyboard. Problem is, I can't afford a Cherry MX keyboard, and I don't want to get a cheap Cherry MX keyboard. Because if you get a cheap Cherry MX $80 Cherry MX keyboard with Cherry MX Brown switches, it is going to feel shitty. It's going to sound terrible as well because it's cheap. You know, it's going to have that thok sound, which I learned what thok meant. Basically means it has a really, deep, plasticky sound when you hit the keys. And this one will have that too, but the thing is, you'd expect that from a knockoff clone Cherry Switch. Point is, here's the point I'm trying to make. The keyboard I actually want is a Cherry MX Brown DOS 4 professional mechanical keyboard, and it has media controls, and it has volume, knob, and everything like that. It is available on Amazon. It's a full-size keyboard. That has Cherry MX Brown switches. Those are actual Cherry MX Brown switches. That is the keyboard that I actually want to unbox for you guys. And by that point, I should have the material to do it. Because it should be... I should have the material to do it. And I want that keyboard because it's going to sound great. And I love the way that Cherry MX switches sound. After today, I will get an idea of what the Cherry MX switches feel like, and I think I will like them a lot better than the Ultimo Brown switch. But today, and for probably about a month or two, I will probably have the Ultimo Brown until I can afford the Cherry MX Brown switch that I want, because that one is a lot nicer, and I will unbox that for you. And that keyboard, retail price, $169, okay, for a Cherry MX Brown DOS 4 professional mechanical keyboard. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, why would you pay $169 for a Cherry MX Brown keyboard? Because I want the keyboard, okay? It sounds great. It has great sound. I don't mind paying for it, okay? That's just the way it is. Now, this keyboard, that's a cheap knockoff of a Cherry MX switch, but it feels relatively similar to a Cherry MX. The Ultimo Brown, it's only $36. And people are like, well, why don't you stick with that? Okay, but I'm not going to be overall satisfied with my purchase, okay? I love mechanical keyboards. Ultimo switches are not bad switches, but I have always wanted a Cherry MX Brown, so we're going with Cherry MX Brown. And a lot of people hate browns, but I don't hate browns. I love browns, and I agree with this nerd YouTuber I found who said that Cherry MX Browns, it depends on the keyboard. It really does. If you get a nice $100 keyboard, $120, $169, like the DOS 4 Professional, you get great sounding Cherry MX switches. Especially like the Cherry MX Brown switches. You get great sounding Cherry MX Brown switches. It feels amazing to type on. If you get an $80 keyboard with Cherry MX Brown switches, it's gonna sound terrible. And it's not gonna feel as nice because it's an $80 keyboard with high quality switches in it. So the making of the keyboard was probably off. I mean, you name it, it was probably the keyboard, not the switches. The switches are great. Because if you get an expensive DOS 4 professional mechanical keyboard that's $169, you're going to get high quality Cherry MX Brown switches in a high quality keyboard. If you get an $80 Cherry MX Brown switch keyboard, you're getting high quality switches in a low quality keyboard. See what I'm saying? Exactly. It makes no sense. Just get a more expensive keyboard with Cherry MX Browns and you will see what I mean. Because I have a friend who uses Cherry MX Browns on a high quality DOS 4 professional mechanical keyboard, and that is his favorite switch. And it will be my favorite switch as well. I am super excited to get this clone switch keyboard to have an idea of what a Cherry MX is like, because I know a Cherry MX is going to feel better and it's going to sound better. So, anyway, that is that. I was nerding out.
I need to get into that one thing.
What?
I forget what it's called. Like, what is it called when you, like, what's in a computer and stuff, and you try to learn what it's about? Like RAM and all that kind of stuff.
I'm actually curious on... it's like the specs.
Yeah, learning about computer specs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because LGR for certain things, I'm like, I don't know what that is. I want to know what it is. I want to know what that means. Like Chucky knows all that shit, and I want to know it now.
Yeah, I know a little bit about specs. I don't know much about specs. I know a little bit though. I know enough to get me through the day. But I don't know. I know things. I don't know a lot, but I know more. I know less than people that I know that know more about specs. But anyway, I actually do plan on getting Dakota. Dakota plans on getting me my DOS 4 professional mechanical keyboard. Well, at some point I plan to get him his Razer Orange mechanical keyboard that is good for gaming and typing because it's a hybrid of a linear and tactile switch combined, so that's great for both. And he really likes that, so that's what I plan on getting him because that's the keyboard that he had and that's the keyboard that I want to get him. So anyway, that is that. That is the video. It's not very good. It's kind of bad, but hey, it is what it is.
It's not bad.
It is bad.
No.
Okay. If you are wondering why we have really good sound, at least better sound, it's not great sound. We're recording the video off of Dakota's Lenovo computer, which, surprisingly enough, his Lenovo is a little bit better than mine. And his mics, as you can hear, left and right are not reversed. Mine were reversed in my Lenovo, and it was terrible. So, but his are not. Anyway, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, I remember when I first got recorders, and that was like Dakota's favorite thing to do. He was like, wee.
Yeah.
But he liked that. But no, it is not reverse stereo. It's actually really nice stereo sound. It's the typical shitty Lenovo stereo sound, but it's still nice stereo sound compared to the Lenovo tablet computer I had. And it had reverse stereo, and the sound honestly wasn't that great. It's terrible. But I do plan on selling that thing, so yeah.
At the end?
But anyway, that's it. Like if you want. You can subscribe to the channel if you want as well. And you can also share it with your friends using that native share button on the YouTube app. That you can share it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want to share it. And you click the notification bell so you never miss a new video. And sorry, I was mimicking RBT. You can click the notification bell so you never miss a new video. It's close to the subscribe button. So yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video with something really nice that you might actually like. So it won't be this stupid I'm back intro video kind of thing. It'll be a nice, smooth video that will go well, and it will be great. So like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!